Hello and welcome to another episode of me explaining something about Digital Circus, as far as I can imagine it. Um, ah! Jax! Hi! We found the Zooble hole! Ah! You startled me. Ah! This is the life of a goldfish. Also, the life of a being who is actually a digital being, whose digital memory has been written over and over and over again, as he has literally been there the longest. He has no clue that a lot of his memory, in order to try and not totally mess up continuity, he basically doesn't keep track of everything that's happening and doesn't know everything that he knows, which is why he's able to pull information out of his ass and then completely forget it the next moment. Because why would he have to remember saying something he already knows? He knows. Once you've put something in the index, it basically is there, so you can just reference it and have that one copy of that. So, if you have a memory of the first time you saw Zooble, or the first time you saw Gargle, or Gangle? The string lady, you went, that! And that's the first time you met her? Yeah. From time to time, if your brain hasn't been really focused on or actively doing something, your brain's going to kind of not remember what has been happening for the past few moments. Especially if you're not currently engaged with someone who's right next to you. They're not in your peripheral vision, so they technically aren't there. So when they finally do show up in your peripheral vision, it's immediately jarring again. This is not so much a repeat of an engram, but it is more like the same conditions as what you were in when you first had that experience of seeing her for the first time. Only, and that's what it's really doing. He is recalling that memory. It takes him a second. He looks at her and he's like, oh. Ah! And then the reaction is able to resume, because you realize someone who has a lot of memory, if you've had ever tried to defragment a computer and like the parts are just everywhere, that's Kingr. He's fragmented as fuck. So he literally has to search hard for details about what is happening. A lot of the continuity of what's going on might be lost on him. It's uncertain. Although he does have certain memories, but you can see this also happening in Pomni. Yeah. She's like, huh? What are we doing? That is the sign of a memory that is kind of checked out, and it starts to think about stuff internally, shutting out literally everything else that is around it, and then somehow just has to reconcile the fact that it's currently in this moment, and everything that happened prior is kind of trying to still save or isn't totally recallable. But there's stuff like, oh, well, he remembers the exit door. I remember the exit door. All of this stuff. And we're trying to find Kane. That's a basic prompt that is easily kept in her memory. How much more fragmented do you think she could end up being? It's unclear. As far as I can tell, they're the only ones who have this issue, but then you see Kane. You see, the thing about Kane, he has a similar thing where he's like looking at the bubble lick up the vomit off the floor, and his brain is like trying to reconnect to the present moment of what were we doing again? This is a trope that we understand is normal with humans, but also it's going to happen with a program. We're going to talk about that in the next video.